And with the new year are also some new rules that will impact your wallet. I sat down with local financial professional Kane Nakata to find out what is changing and how you can prepare.
Good morning, Kane. Thank you for joining us today. Let's just jump right in. We have some new rules, money rules, that are coming up this new year. What can you tell me about what people need to be on the lookout for?
Well, first, I just wanted to thank you, Leah, for having me this morning. I'm very excited. But, some of the new rules coming up for this year is, in different areas. And one of the areas is going to be with the IRS, right? They're going to increase the amount of income that we can earn before we hit that next higher marginal tax bracket. Part of that is due to inflation, right? As inflation goes up, we need to be able to earn more to be in that same category. And if we're being taxed on those dollars, it's kind of setting us back. So with this increase, it's going to help everybody out there.
And we're talking about IRS boosting tax brackets. What does that mean, for the everyday person? I know you're saying it's going to help everybody, but what does it mean for, just the average Joe?
Well, for most people, what it's going to mean is they're going to be able to keep more dollars in their pocket, right? So less going to taxes, more will stay in their pocket, which would give them the opportunity to whether, spend more, to take care of themselves or their families, or maybe to even save a little bit more.
And when we're talking about saving, there's also going to be a higher 401k contribution total. I know when people are thinking of savings, they're also maybe thinking about putting some of those savings towards their retirement.
Correct. So this year, they're going to increase that 401k contribution by $1,000. So for most people, they're going to be able to put an extra $1,000 into their 401k, which, to some people might not sound like them. But if you take that over 1 year, 5 years, 10 years, right, those dollars really begin to add up. And due to inflation, the amount that we're going to actually need in retirement is going to be a lot higher than I think a lot of us have prepared for.
It's interesting. As 401k, you mentioned IRS boosting tax bracket. There's also Social Security checks that are seeing some increases. Talk to me about that.
Well, thank goodness. I mean, this year, we're going to have probably the biggest increase in I believe, the past 40 years. I think that increase is going to be about 5.9%, which is great, right? But that also coordinates because we've also had some of the highest inflation also, right? So to be able to keep people putting food on their table, unfortunately, a lot of people, Social Security tends to be one of their main sources of income in retirement. So as a country, we need to do the right things to be able to take care of our retirees, so they'll be able to live a pretty comfortable life.
You mentioned inflation and it hitting a high for, I think it's a 39-year, 40-year high. Are we expecting inflation to continue to be a big issue in 2022?
Unfortunately, I believe it is. Right. If we look at this past year that we've just come through, inflation was pretty hard. I saw a report that for fast food, I think they had an increase of about 7.9%. Right. But if, anybody who goes shopping realizes that whether it's food, gas, clothing, the cost of almost everything has increased on us pretty drastically. And in 2022, it looks like it's going to continue. Right. We hope it doesn't, but the reality is chances it will continue on this high level that will continue to impact us. More importantly, I think it really has an impact on retirees.
And, as we do continue to fight this pandemic, do you think that these new financial rules are a benefit to us?
Absolutely. In any situation, right, we can always look at the positive or the negative, but some of the things that are going to be coming up in the year 2022 for everybody to take advantage of, if we really sit down and understand them, and whether it's you do your own research or you sit down with a professional, there's a lot of things that we will be able to take advantage of financially, not just for today, but also for ourselves in the future.
Awesome. Is anything else you're thinking that, we need to know as we're working our way through 2022? It's January 1st.
Well, I think one of the things we need to do is just figure out, some of the things that we can put into place moving forward, right? And I think if we have that opportunity to share on some of those ideas and some of those concepts, and really give people things that they can apply to their lives every single day, I think that's how ourselves as individuals, as well as a community and as a state, we can all move forward.
Great. Well, thank you so much for joining us this morning, Kane. Appreciate all of that great information.
Appreciate being here. You have a great day.
Thank you. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.